The next items in the case of fun, and you can play around with this all you want, are the path perfectors. So these serve probably 20 purposes and probably 20 purposes I haven't even thought of. The first one is we can constrain the club head movement if we want to, right? So they come in two settings, narrow and wide, and you can play around with those. And if you want to even get in more detail, you can flip them around. And we have the only adjustable arc trainer in the world. So you can create this in a flat, you can create it in an arc. When there are guys that have trained on an arc trainer and they see this, they like start crying, right? They're so happy. Because the reality is we all have a different putting arc, right? So to buy an arc guide with one stagnant putting arc, that has a lot of flaws to it. So we can create an insane arc, a mild arc, right? We can create a reverse arc over here, and we can slide these up and down. So why don't you just talk about some ways that you use these before we get to the stroke guides?
So if I have somebody who's a beginner and they have no control over the putter head, over the stroke, I'm gonna move these out all the way and not give them much variance either way, so we can get the putter head basically right in there so they have not that much variance. It has to go straight instead of wiggling all the way around. Then as we start to see how if a stroke is, you know, do I need to move it that way? If it's too out to in, you know, we just play around with these. Then as we get a little bit more, like when I set mine up, I actually build an arc in it. My miss would go to the pull left side. So kind of if I'm doing it for me, that's kind of what mine looks like. I pop those out a little bit so that I'm not hitting this. That gives me a little bit inside arc back here, right? So we could set it up so we have just a continuous arc, inside square inside square down the line. However we want to use these, we can do that. Simply for beginners, I'm probably going right there so they can get control of that putter head immediately.
There are guys out there smarter than I am, and there are a lot of smart guys who could sit and argue for hours, right? I wanted to create a system that no matter what your philosophy is, you can use this to enhance it. However, and I'm just fascinated to see how instructors around the country are using this, because I'm sure they're going to come up with things that I have never even thought of. I mean, I know you already have, right? So this is really cool that these are great additions. Once again, you don't ever have to use them. And some people will use them other day or every day.